Nityananda, 95th shloka of Ashtavakra Gita, otherwise known as Ashtavakra Samhita. It's a conversation between Ashtavakra and Janaka, both very eminent people as far as spiritual progress is concerned. The one was a liberated soul, the one has been liberated after the first chapter. After Yajnavalkya just told him the basic things, immediately he got, and he went into the ecstasy of liberation. And from this third chapter onwards, Janaka begins to recount his own experiences of that ultimate bliss. That is the Brahmananda. It is a transitional stage. See, a man when he is released from the prison, he comes out. He is the beautiful morning, for the first time, the chirping birds in the air, and the beautiful sunrise falling on the blooming plants and the flowers. It looks so beautiful, he has just come out. So the first time he got independence, he is dancing with joy at the open road. How long will he dance? Not for his entire life. It exhausts itself after a few minutes. And thus was Janaka got to the first time of liberation. That ecstasy of liberation makes him dance, and he becomes voluble. He begins to talk. He tries to express the inexpressible. He tries to describe the indescribable. The final state is a state of no experience. All experiences cease. Experience means the impact of external factors on our various senses of perception, including the mind. Here is a case where all the mind has ceased to function. All the indriyas have stopped their functioning. So the question of anything coming externally doesn't arise. It is a bubbling ecstasy from inside. And it is an experience which normally makes one dumb with the shock of its highest ecstasy, something which is unparalleled in the history of a person's life. But then, just the virginity of that experience, he tries to express, oh, what a wonder, he would like to share what he has experienced. And this is Ashtavakra's last exhortation. He knows that Janaka has reached. Janaka has become a master in his own rights. No longer there is a guru and a shishya. Both are gurus practically. Yes, Janaka might perhaps consider himself as a guru. That's only externally. Internally, when both know that they are the same self, the question of any difference doesn't arise. It's the undifferentiated, nirvikalpa state. So we come to the 95th shloka. It is a description of the person who has reached. See, in this there are two categories. So far, till a few stanzas earlier, he was describing how a Jivan Mukta, even after getting his liberation, conducts himself in his normal life in this world. Does he conduct himself like you and I, or is there something unique about his actions, unique about his conduct? So he says, externally it may look that he is just like you and I, but there is a uniqueness about him. It is a special uniqueness. So he has tried to describe it in various terms which are contradictory to each other. When you express the inexpressible, such contradictions in terms are inescapable. Yasya chinda inichindaha Sendriya pinirindriyaha Subodhera pinirbuddhivi Nirahanta sahankaro nahamkritihi. a little subtle description. These are not the gross descriptions as you were seeing earlier. Does he sleep like us? Does he talk like us? They are also gross-like. Now he is entering into such subtle portals of wisdom. Yasya chinto vinishchintaha. Gyaha means yadhira, yabuddha, the wise man, the one who has known the truth, that ultimate wisdom, that I am the self. Such a person, it looks sometimes he is also thinking. He is also thinking, he has also got thoughts, he has also got a memory. That is what it looks. But no, he is not bothered at all. All thoughts are based on the mind. Mind is the conglomeration of thoughts. It is the bundle of thoughts. If there are no thoughts, there is no mind. So here is one who has reached that no mind stage, which is called the Unmani Bhava. So the man who has got no mind, the question of any thoughts about anybody, about his own self, any concern, any worry, any anxiety, nothing arises. But externally, it looks as if he is interested. So what happens when Bhagavan Ramana was here, somebody comes, say Madhavan Ramana comes, he will ask him, yes, what about your stomachache? Is it much better now? So how did he remember when there was no mind? You see, here he is in direct contact. He is the very knowledge which was working to the mind. The mind was perhaps an infinitesimal droplet of the cosmic intelligence. So where the cosmic intelligence is operating directly, where is the need for an instrument, where is the need for an equipment to pass through, no medium is required. It is directly functioning. So as such, whatever he wants, he can get it directly. There is no need for the intercession or the medium of any senses in between. There is neither the mind nor the senses to interpret any experience. Every experience, every thought is direct. That is why in that sense he is nischinta. You cannot call him that he is thinking. The moment he says, yes, this man, who is he like? Immediately comes as a plan. This is such and such, his entire bad will come. So there is no need for a computer memory. It comes directly from the source of all computers, from the source of all the memories, from the source of all the various intelligences. From the very cosmic intelligence, it just comes in a gush. Sachinto vinishintaha. That's why we start our lectures every day with an invocation. There, Apara Satchit Sukhavari Rashi Yasyorme Matram Bhavanam Samastam Guhahitam Tam Ramanam Gapinam Chinta Vihinam Hridi Chintaya. Let me bow and prostrate mentally to that Bhagavan Ramana. There is no thoughts. He is all like us. It is not a stuti. You are putting a goal before you. I want to become like Ramana. So what is the uniqueness of Ramana? His uniqueness is his thoughtless. And there is a very sadhana. In that one sloka, your entire sadhana is contained. What have you got to do? Don't meditate on any figure. Not necessary. It is not that it is wrong. The infinite has got infinite paths. Go by any path you will reach. It's a question of all roads lead to Rome. But then, here is the easy path where he says to everybody, remain with the voice of silence. Remain with the voice of silence means be silent and hear the inner nada, the inner sound, the Om. You concentrate on it, the inner nada, the inner sound. That is the ultimate goal of yours. That is that infinite bliss, the final beatitude. What you may call as the Brahman, the Lord. So you reach into that. It is called the Nadanta. It's the very end of the sound when all the sound ends when that ceases. See, we think that this speech is effective. Not at all. This is actually a dustbin. What comes out is the dust. Actually, there are 4 types of sound. The entire sound is being energy. It emanates from the energy of energies, from the Divine Mother, from the ultimate Lord. It is called Para. Para means transcendent. It is an energy which does not emanate through any medium. It doesn't come through the eyes, it doesn't come through the ears. It comes directly from the source of sources. So it is called the Para. Then it starts from the Nabhi, the Muladhara, the first of the 6 chakras, the yogic chakras through which the Kundalini power courses through in order to reach the highest, the 1000 petal of Sahasrara. So that is called the Pasyanti. What happens when you want to talk? The voice emanates without any form, just as a noise rather, but a noise which cannot be heard. That's why we call it the voice. It emanates from the Nabhi, from the navel. It reaches this place. When once it reaches this place, this is called the Pasyanti. Para, Pasyanti, Madhyama. So, Pasyanti was the one which started in the navel. When once it reaches here, it becomes the Madhyama, where the words and sentences are already formed. What you are going to talk, it has come here. When an artist draws a picture, the picture is already in his mind. He is already full of it. He knows every contour, every line of it. It's just coming out as an expression. Similarly, when you want to talk, it is already there. It's called the Pasyanti. So, the one we started from the source, it was very powerful. So, it has to step down before we can use it. You require a step-down transformer. The electricity which is generated, you cannot use it as it is. The entire house will be burned to ashes. So it requires to step down to the level where it can handle it easily and safely. And that is what is done when once it comes into the body. And every time its power is already exhausted in its coursing from this place to this place. And when it comes out, it is a spent cartridge. It has got very little of the effect. Even then, we are so enamored of. We say, oh, what a beautiful talk, such and such gave, and that is nothing. So, when a Zen master was asked, sir, how to listen to your talk and how to understand, what is the method? He said, it is very easy. Every sentence you hear, you take the sentence, shake it so that all the words should fall down. What is left is what you should grasp. This is the Zen master's advice. It's very difficult to understand. See, the Zen people used to have a beautiful book. It has been passed down from generation to generation. The spell is very secret. It's a very big book. And everybody goes through it at least for 2 to 3 years of his apprentice life. Sits from morning to night and he goes through the book. Every page of that book is blank. There is nothing which is written in it. It is a book of blankness. But that is where everything is. What looks like shunya is purna. What looks like empty is full. So it will develop that inner eye which can see through that emptiness. The Mahashunya is Mahapurna. So we have to find out that consciousness, that existence which never ceases to exist. It exists in all things. It exists in all void. Yasya jinto pinishintaha So this person, even though it looks that sometimes he thinks, somebody asked Bhagavan, when was the first time you came down from the mountain? It looked that as if he is thinking, scratching his head. No necessity. It is there in his fingertips. These are all dramas. That's all. So they have got no thoughts. Because they have got that master key of knowledge which can open all the doors of wisdom. Yena jnatena sarvamidam jnatam bhavati. By knowing which everything else can be known. On the contrary, you spend your lifetime for getting a PhD on studying a butterfly and writing about it. What does the butterfly do? Where does it live? How does it behave? You spend your lifetime, what does it gain? It is of no avail. You may not even get Nobel Prize, or you may get at the most a PhD. On the contrary, you analyze yourself as to who am I, who I am. You will know everything about a plant, everything about a tree, everything about a reptile. What all you want to know, you can know. The old people, they never had, our sages, they never had any instrument. And the Surya Siddhanta, with their return on the astronomy, none of the astronomy, the most modern equipments could have written it. And they have been able to assess the speeds and the various movements of the planets with such an accuracy as if they were looking through some electronic telescopes. And they had written on Kamashastra and Unity. They have written on medicines. They say the founder of the Unani medicines used to go and sit in each tree, meditate on the tree, and then pray to the tree, "Oh my dear tree, please let me know what you can do for the mankind. You are here only for the mankind. We know, except man, everybody else exists to help others. It is only man who is selfish. So as such, please reveal what can your fur do for somebody, what can your bark can do for somebody, what can your leaf can do for somebody." And thus, it revealed in the meditation all its properties for 1,000 trees. It cannot be done in a man's lifetime in those days. How can he do it? He didn't have guinea pigs and laboratories in those days to study each one, give them that kada or that decoction out of it and then verify what happens. Nobody would have come, first of all, as guinea pigs for them, for experimentation. But he was able to do it because everything was revealed. Whatever is in the macrocosm, they are all in the microcosm. You want to know something about the sun, we can see here. The Rigveda contains a beautiful hymn wherein it describes about that, I think it is called the black pit or something, in which even our aircrafts go, they never come out. A place of extreme pressure suction, it just sucks. That's a place. And it is only known to the people who have gone up and all this nowadays, who knows about them. But there is a beautiful description of our Vedas about it. So where to have they learned? They have looked here. That is why they don't require any indriyas to function. They don't require the eye. They can see without the eye. They can hear without the ear. These are all only some external appurtenances. What actually sees through your eyes is the seer, is the ultimate seer. It is the consciousness which sees through you. If there is no consciousness, can your eyes see? A corpse is lying down with its eyes open. Can you see? What has happened? The consciousness has gone, which was behind it. So everything works because of the seer. That supreme conscience is inside you. But for that, we are all conscious. That's all. There is a beautiful Upanishad called the Kena Upanishad. Kena means by whom. The entire thing starts by whom. By propelled by whom does the eye begin to see. Keneshitam patitim prishitam manaha. How is it that the mind goes and envelops the object and then brings the object towards you? The object doesn't come towards you. The tree is there and I am here. Then how is it that I am able to see the tree? It is the mind which brings it back to you. Then who is the one who propels it to go there and bring the image of it nearer to you? Who is it who has done it? So the entire thing starts like that. And then the answer is also there. There is a seer, the ultimate consciousness. Sendriyopi nirindriyaha. So, it looks as if he has got an eye. He never sees through the eye. He'll be staring vacantly and wildly. And he'll be having an ear. He doesn't see through ear. Everything gets direct. It's a direct perception. What is a direct perception? How do you define it? The only example is, you know that you exist. You are alive. You are here. If I ask you, how do you know that you exist? Did your eyes come and tell you, sir, Swami Shantananda, you exist? I am your witness? No. Nor does the ear tell you. Then how did you know? Many people can't express. They'll say, I know. You ask them, I ask so many people. Very few, if ever try to answer it, they will say, no, I know. Say, how do you know? They are never able to say. It is because it is a direct knowledge. It doesn't come through the medium of any senses. It comes to you direct from the source. And the source is everywhere. The source is not located in a particular place. Even though we may say it is in the heart, it is the Chidakasha. And the Chidakasha, it contains the entire universe. So it is everywhere. So it comes from the source, it is everywhere. The superconsciousness is a circle with its periphery, with its circumference everywhere, but with its center nowhere. Sendriyopi nirindriyaha. So even though he possesses all these indriyas, he never uses them. He can't use them. Indriyas cannot work independently of the mind unless the mind is there. I am sitting here, somebody comes and stands before me and I am thinking of something else, of my ashram in the Himalayas. So suddenly after 15 minutes I said, oh doctor, how did you come, when did you come? I am here for the last 3 minutes, where were you? So the mind was not here. So even though my eyes were staring, they were not looking at him. So what works in the mind? Through the mind only you can see things. And when once I have reached the stage of a no mind, when my mind has been destroyed, when a manonasa has taken place. So the question of any indriyas functioning, any of the senses functioning, doesn't arise. So as such, he works without the indriyas, even though externally he possesses the same senses as you and I. So buddhena binir buddhi. Yes. He has got no intellect, because intellect is part of the mind. As I told, the mind or the mana, it consists of 3 parts. One is called the mind, mana. The second portion is called the buddhi. The third portion is called the chitta. And if at all you can say the fourth portion is called the ahankara or the ego. So the mana is a clerk in the office. His duty is to get the papers which come from outside, put it in the respective file, and just link the previous papers and submit it to his office. He can only say, sir, this has come, he wants this. So shall we do this or shall we not do this? It is called sankalpa or vikalpa. Shall we do or shall we not do? The various thoughts. That is all the mind can do. It has not been vested in the authority to take a decision in this matter. Buddhi is the officer who has taken the decision. So when the paper comes to you, how does he take the decision? He says, well, somebody has applied for a license for building a house in a particular site. So you want to know whether has there been any earlier such applications and how we have dealt with, have been allotted in the site, or is there something special about the site that we got allotted to the public? So you want to ask the person to see the previous files. It is in the archives. The archival memory, from the recess of which you take out the files That is called Chitta. Chitta contains all the impressions, all the imprints of the past. It contains all the files. So, the moment you want to know, you find out whether there is anything or not, and then you deliver your judgment. Nirnayatmika buddhirityuchate. The one which takes the decision is the buddhi. And Chitta is also, people say, it contains the free will. That is, the free will is the final executive who executes the command of the buddhi. So it is the Chitta which gives you the desire to act. You act in this way. So Chitta is also the organized, and a portion of it is also the final executive authority which does what the buddhi has decided. It cannot amend it. It is the will which executes. So, buddhi is that intellectual portion, the intellect, or the intelligence, or the intellect, whatever it is. So actually, he is devoid of the entire mind system is absent. The system is not there. All these four is not there. The ego is not there. There is no memory. The memory box has been pulverized, powdered, thrown out. It is no longer there. Nor is there anything called an intellect. All the four gone. He is now directly doing. He has become one with the managing director. He doesn't require anything. Whatever he says, there is nobody who can gainsay or amend it. So that is why he is now supreme. He doesn't require a memory to tickle him. So buddhirapi and buddhi. Even though he has got very good intelligence, where from that intelligence comes? He is the intelligence of intelligence. He is the cosmic intelligence who is lending his intelligence in infinite drops to the universe, to the billions and billions. And how bigger he should be. So his buddhi is very, very sharp. His acumen is unique. His perspicacity is something special which is unparalleled in history, because he is all the knowledge in the world. So, subuddhirapi buddhi. He is actually no buddhi, but still from time to time, when needed, you will find this flash of intelligence, which will direct you to do like this. In answering, in quipping in certain answers, you will find. See, Bhagavan used to do like that. It used to be humorous life, but at the same time very profound. Where from he has taken all these things? When there is no thought, when there is no mind, it comes from the topmost wisdom, from the infinite. It has come from the Lord. Direct, it comes. People used to think that they are able to catch our Bhagavan. Somebody came, one lady, she was famous expert on birth control methods and all that. She came, she wanted to put a newspaper. Bhagavan says like this, says like this. She came and asked Bhagavan, please let me have your views on birth control. He asked her, do you know about death control? He can't imagine the answer. Straight comes. There is no time. And then one day he happened to tell people, we are all subject to four states. The waking state, Jagratavastha, then the sleeping state, Swapnavastha, then Sushupti or the deep sleep. These are the three normal states. The fourth one is called Turiya, which is transcendental, which is beyond all that. Wherein if you go, you come to your home. You come home. You are on tour in these three places. You are not in home. So only the transcendental state is the final state. So Bhagavan was telling, look here, all these states are all the dreams, that is the only natural state. All these states are alike. Then one very intelligent and clever business person who was there sitting, he said, Bhagavan, morning to evening, the waking state, I am very busy talking about contrast, talking about tenders, and then running my factory, so I've absolutely got no time. But during my sleep I got a lot of time. So can you tell me some sadhana, some methods of spiritual practices so that I got enough time and I can do it when I am asleep? Bhagavan said, yes, I can tell you. But then if I tell you now, you will forget the moment you go to sleep. So when you are asleep, come to me. I'll ask them to keep the door open. I'll tell you that.